we've been working our way through card play technique. We're all the way up to chapter 18. We have just a couple chapters left, so we're going to be wrapping things up pretty quickly. We're down to spending about a week on each chapter at this point, sometimes a little bit longer depending on my schedule. We do some discussion on Discord. I highly recommend picking up the book because there's a lot of information in there that I'm not putting into this, but we're going to do a quick overview. So, when we're defending, we're giving away information with, or we're trying to give information to our partner with almost every card we play. When we lead the top of touching honors, when we are playing third hand high and we play the lowest of touching honors, from our leads, from our bidding, from our count signals to our attitude, we're always trying to communicate information to our partner. But an astute declarer, one that's paying attention, is also can see those signals for themselves as well. So it's not always in our best interest to be trying to communicate on every single card, and it's also not in our best interest to accurately communicate on every card. So like the signals that we're sending, and like we have because there's two of us, we actually have like multiple chances to confuse the declarer and make things tricky for them. But we have to be very careful about this because our partner is relying on that information that we're giving them. So if we are too confusing, if we're giving, oh, I've got to move myself so you can actually see. But if we're too confusing, if we're lying to partner in ways that aren't beneficial and can actually hurt them, we need to be, this can end up hurting our defense more than it hurts the declarer. So this is something that like you want to be doing. It's advantageous for you to be false carding, for you to be giving bad information to the declarer. If for no other reason than once they've seen you do it once or twice, they know that they can't necessarily trust information that you give them like at face value. They have to think a little bit harder. They have to wonder whether or not you're actually giving them the information that they think they're giving. They can't take anything for granted at this point. One of the ways that you can also do this, use this techniques to your advantage is like if you can anticipate what the declarer's plan is, and you can also kind of anticipate and figure out what partner must be holding, you can use these false cards to convey information to the declarer that makes it more likely that your partner is going to, that can protect partner, that can generate extra tricks for you. The whole idea here is to be deceptive and be a little bit confusing to make tricks appear out of nothing. If you have two equal opportunity lines, if you have like a choice, like if you have like queen jack tight, the key thing there, it doesn't matter which thing you do, but the best thing that you can do is be inconsistent. Sometimes play the queen, sometimes play the jack. If you always play one thing, then the declarer who's paying attention is going to be able to figure out what you mean when you always do the same thing. You know, when you're playing in I don't know how much this comes up when you're playing in like huge tournaments where like you're playing in like a bunch of different rounds, when you're only playing each people for like 2 or 3 boards at a time. But maybe some more of the experienced people can chime in there. I don't have that much experience to say like how much information you can really pick off of like a couple of boards, but if you pull off a false card within those boards, that a declarer is definitely going to notice that something's up. And then the last thing to be noticed about when you're trying to pull off these deceptive plays is that you need to be playing in tempo. If like you're hemming and hawing, if you're sitting there wondering like, okay, how do I do this? What's the right way to do it? If you're fidgeting over it, if you appear not confident with your play, then declarer is going to be able to tell that something's up. The best way that, if you're going to pull off the deception is you got to play in tempo, you got to play completely normally, no stuttering. So let's take a look at how this actually plays out in a couple of examples. So we are sitting, we're playing against 4 west. We're playing against 4 spades, and we're sitting in west, and we've got this 10-9-6 trump holding. The declarer starts attacking the spade suit through play a small spade from the dummy. Our partner plays the 2, and the declarer comes up with the queen. So the question now is, what should we be playing from our hand? So I'm going to give everybody a couple of seconds to think about this, but I will give you a quick hint. Think about what would the shape have to, like, what could the shape of this hand be? what is something that what could partner be holding? What could the declarer be holding? And what is the declarer trying to do? So I'm going to give everybody a couple of seconds to think what that might be while I refresh myself, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so we're in 4 spades, and I didn't show you the bidding, but we can take a likely guess that the spade situation is 5-3-3-2. If it's not 5-3-3-2, if it's 6-4-2-1, then we can see the whole position. There's no problem here. So the thing that what it looks like the declarer might be doing is finessing against the king that's in partner's hand. But what we need to figure, and what we can also pretty much tell is that partner, we're also pretty sure that since the spades are 3-2, and now that the one round of spades has been played, partner's king is sitting bare in hand. If we give a standard count signal, so we would play low from 3. This is the mandatory false card, the only thing that I know about false carding. Yeah, so if we give a standard count signal here, which would be playing like the 6, then we're going to immediately give the game away to the defender, to the declarer. They're going to know that the bare king sits in east, and that the right way to play this hand is to drop the ace. What we need to do is try and confuse the situation. We need to try and convince the declarer that partner's king is actually guarded. We need them to try and do something else. Yeah, we need to convince the declarer that it's guarded twice. And then if that way they'll play the jack so that it can take the finesse 2 times instead of being able to take it just once. Then if they play the jack, it'll give us a chance to it promotes our 10. So what we need to do in this case is try and confuse the issue by playing the 9. If we play the 9, then it makes it look like we're playing high from, we're giving us an echo. We're playing high-low and showing even count. And that gives the declarer a chance to make a mistake. Here's what the actual layout looks like. You can see this is kind of what we were estimating, what we were guessing that the shape is looking like. It's 5-3-3-2. Partner holds the king 2. Okay. So let's take another example. This time we're playing against 3-0. We're sitting in east, and we have a pretty good hand for defending against 3-0. We have a nice spade suit. We have this queen jack clubs. And partner is starting us off by playing the 2 of clubs. The declarer plays a low club from dummy, the 3. And so it comes around to us. What card are we supposed to be playing at this point? So we want to be thinking about the same thought process. We have a couple of options. We can play the 6, the jack, or the queen. Playing the 6 seems like a pretty, not great decision. So the big question is whether or not we should be playing the queen or the jack. If we play the jack, then we could have the jack, we could still have the queen. If we play the queen, then we're implicitly denying that we have the jack, right? Because if we had queen jack, we'd be playing the jack, the lowest of touching honors. So is there any benefit to playing the queen here? Well, if we play the queen, then the declarer is going to think that east is going to think that west has to be holding on to the jack, and they're looking at that ace 10 in dummy and thinking that this is the club position is completely locked up. If we play the queen here and it gets covered by the king, we potentially have confused the issue. We've managed to convince the declarer that the club suit is completely locked up with a finesse, and we can hopefully get them to switch somewhere else, because where we really need to come in is get somebody to switch us into the spade suit. And as soon as we can come in with spades, as soon as somebody leads these spades towards us, we'll be able to hopefully take out the rest of the, we'll hopefully be able to set the contract. If our queen actually ends up holding, then potentially partner has the king, If partner has the king, that's awesome. We just go ahead and play the jack. The jack can go around to the ace, and now the partner has a king. So playing the queen can't cost us here. And what it can do is maybe declare goes ahead and takes a finesse against the jack later. That gives us a chance to score the jack, and it also encourages the declarer to make a switch to something else because they think that the club suit is completely is set. They don't have to worry about it anymore, so they can try establishing something else. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of problems. Oh, wait. Okay. I forgot to delete a couple of slides, but we're in the right place now. Okay, so the declare, we're just playing a hand out. I'm not even telling you about the contract, but like we're just kind of in the middle of the hand. The declare starts working on their spade suit. They play the they play the 4 of spades. We're sitting west. We play the 2. And then the dummy, the declare plays the jack from dummy, and the jack holds. The declare starts attacking, keeps attacking the spade suit, and they play the king back. So now our question is, do we play the queen or the 10? So kind of keeping in mind everything we've talked about so far, I'm going to give everybody about 20 seconds to think about this. Post your answers in chat, and we'll talk through what we should be doing here. Okay, I'm seeing 1 vote for playing the queen because the declarer knows you have it. I like that. Play the queen. Declarer must have the ace, so if you play the queen, they might try to finesse east for the 10. Otherwise, they may try and drop it instead. Okay, perfect. It seems like we're kind of, we're hitting on the right themes here. So the important thing about what happened on at that first trick is that the declarer knows that you have the queen in west when the jack holds. If east had the queen of spades, the jack would not have won this trick. So the only point of ambiguity for the declarer at this point is where is the 10 of spades? If we play the 10 of spades, we've resolved all of the ambiguity. There's nothing left that's hidden in the hand. If we play the queen, we're just giving away information that the declarer already knows. And if we play the queen, that gives them a chance to make a mistake and finesse against the 10, exactly like Dr. Dogman was saying. And yeah, Lappers hit the nail on the head. If you have a choice between playing a card that the declarer knows you have versus a card that you don't know, that the declarer doesn't know about, play the card that they know about. This keeps the hand hidden for longer. It makes it hard. It makes their job harder. It gives them more chances to get things wrong. Okay, we're gonna look at one more problem, and then I'm gonna be finished for the night. Okay, so the contract is 3-0 by South. We're sitting in the middle of the hand. And the declarer has started by playing the 6 of clubs. They're playing that from hand, and we're sitting west, and we need to figure out whether we're going to play the king or the 10. So, gonna give everybody again about 20 seconds. You can type your answers in chat, we'll figure it out from there. one feels a little bit tricky. We want to be thinking about the same kind of things we've thought about before. What's the shape of the suit? Like what's a logical guess we can make? What's the player trying to do? What cards are missing? What cards could partner be holding? Is there anything that we could do that would benefit partner? No clue. That's fair. This is a tricky one. Let's assume that the shape is 5332. Is there a way that we could confuse the shape, I guess? Like, could we make the shape 5? Could we make it look like to the declare that the shape is 5 4 3 1? Also, what cards are missing? What cards don't we know about? Dropping the king would confuse the declare, but not sure how it helps. Okay, that's a good start. So there's a couple of things to notice here. One is we're missing the Jack 9 8 7. So the big question is like who has those cards? Like I guess who has the Jack and who has the I guess jeez. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay. So we're going to we know the hand is essentially split 3-3. So the question is who has the Jack. If lepers. So if declare has Jack third, declare doesn't know whether to finesse or drop the 10 if we play the king. Perfect. So then if they think the suit divides 4-1, maybe if they're Jack 9 6, they'll finesse into your 10. Exactly. So we have kind of two opportunities for an advantage here. If we can make the if declare has Jack third, then the best thing that we can do is try and convince them that the suit is 4-1. And then they will hopefully take a finesse against East 10 or East supposed 10. That gives us a chance to pick up a trick. The other thing that could happen is partner is Jack third. If partner is Jack third, then it can't, and this is important, is it can't cost if partner has Jack third. If we come up with if we play the king here and then it gets covered by the ace, if partner has Jack third, their Jack is still going to get to take a trick once the queen comes out. As we'll have the 10 Jack between our two hands. So there's kind of two aspects to this. Like one, it can potentially confuse the declare about the position of the hand. Either they have the Jack and they don't know where the 10 is, or they don't have the Jack and it can't cost us. So those are kind of like our two possibilities here. And I think that's like the important thing. If we're going to do something that potentially confuses partner, we need to make sure that we can't hurt partner by doing it. So I think this is a nice example because it gives us like shows you like this is something we can do, and then like the other side of this is that it can't hurt for us to do this. So there are a lot of different discussions of these deceptions that show up in the book. I highly recommend checking it out because for some more of the detail, they do some interesting stuff about maybe trying to like confuse the player and get them stuck on the board. There's talk about different hold-up plays, other types of false carding, and then like the last point of the chapter, which I'm just going to mention briefly, is that you need to tailor your false carding to the experience of your opponent. Blatant false cards might work against novice players, but they're less likely to work against experienced players. These are kind of things that the more experience somebody has in dealing with like people trying to play deceptively, the more impactful your deceptions have to be for them to actually be worth something. So pick your deceptions with care against the like players that you're playing against, because not all things are going to work equally against all players.